Hey, Duygu.
Hello,
How you doing?
I'm fine, Antonio. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Uh, how was um how was Biden?
Good. I'm
Good.
I was uh, I was relaxing only, not anything about Bayram, but it was good.
Okay. All right, good. Good. So, but you had a good time, huh?
Yes.
Okay. All right, great. So let's get going, all right?
Okay.
Okay, let's get started. First, let's go over the homework. All right, so I'm going to share this. So, no, not this. Okay, so this was the first assignment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you wrote the first version of the video, then you wrote the second version of the video. Great. Okay. And then you analyzed the second version. So
Yes.
what happened was, okay, so you did this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you noticed the cleft sentences
Yes.
that the girl uses in her second version. So then you wrote your own story using class sentences. Okay?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yay! All right. Okay, good. So I had a bad vacation experience with my best friend in Belgrade in September last year. Great. So what happened was, excellent, Duygu, excellent. So what happened was, okay, I
Mm-hmm.
love this. This is excellent. This is fantastic. Okay, I love it. So when you start, or before you start telling something, you can say,
What happened was, so
so
what
what
happened
happened
was.
was,
Okay.
exactly. So what happened was, now why do we do this? Remind me,
Mm-hmm. Hmm?
why do we do this? Remind me why we do this.
Oh, because we want to emphasize
Exactly.
what we did.
Exactly. We want to make emphasis. We want to
Mm-hmm.
emphasize what we're going to say next, right? So what happened was all vacation days rained. Huh, okay. Um, okay, well, here we should say, I know what you want to say, okay? Her, her gün yağmur yağdı,
Yes.
right? Okay, so it's better to say this. Um, let me insert comment here. So it's better to say it rained. It rained every day.
Okay.
It rained every day. Her gün yağdı.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you say days rained, it sounds like days
Yeah.
fell
Okay.
down from the sky. Okay. All right. So it rained every day and the weather
Mm-hmm.
was cold. Okay. In addition, what we had the worst was, huh, what do you mean by that? Um,
And the worst thing we had, I mean,
and the worst part of it was, well, you can say, in this case, we cannot use a what clef sentence. You can say, though, in addition, the worst the worst part of it was,
Hmm.
the worst part of it was, thieves stole her bag. That included her passport and wallet. Okay.
Mhm.
What we did was, or you can say what we did then was,
Mhm.
okay, what, let me put it here. So you can say what we did then was, so
Mhm.
instead of saying then, right? So then we went to the nearest, okay?
Mhm.
Then we went to the nearest. Instead of saying, then we went to the nearest police station, okay? You can say, what we did, what we did then
Then.
was go to the nearest, blah, blah, blah. Okay?
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay? All right. So look, if you want to start the story, you say, so
What happened was.
what happened was, right?
Mhm.
Okay. And then instead of saying, then we went to, you're going to say,
What we did then was.
exactly. What we did then was, and then you use what tense?
Uh, Present tense.
Present tense. Exactly. Okay. Excellent. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay. So what we did then was go to the nearest police station, and what they did was say, beautiful, Duygu, beautiful. I love it. And what they did was say, be calm, and we will find them via the security cameras. Excellent. Very good. After 4 hours of waiting, they found there's
Mm.
something missing. There's something missing there. They
Yes, the
found
thief.
the thieves.
Mhm.
Okay. They found the thieves and my friend's bag. What the thieves did was very good. What the thieves did was apologize to my friend and beg her not to make a complaint. You can say make a complaint, but it's better
Mhm.
to say yani şikaye
Complain? Yes, şikayet.
complaint. Yes, but we don't usually make
Make.
a complaint.
Hmm.
No, we file a complaint
Hmm.
to
Okay.
to a file to file a complaint. Okay, so uh whoops, to make, let me see if I can uh change format options, no, define to make, insert, blah blah blah. I want to strike this through, not to, well, I'm going to delete this. There it is. Beg her not to file a complaint.
Mhm.
Okay. What she did, well, we can say something like, what she did then
Was.
was
Mhm.
reject their offer. Although all we needed was a peaceful vacation, it couldn't exist. Now, what do you mean by this? Although all we needed was a peaceful vacation, although all we needed was a peaceful vacation. Oh, okay, I think I know what you mean. Although all we needed was a peaceful vacation, it couldn't exist. Um, Although all we needed was a peaceful vacation, we couldn't get one, or we we couldn't have one.
Mhm.
Yeah, it couldn't exist. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Okay, but it's good. See, I'm happy now, Duygu. I'm happy now. Okay, this is what I was looking for. Okay, so what
Mhm.
happened was, right?
Mhm.
So what we did then was, or what she did then was, okay, excellent, very good. Okay, all right, there you go. Okay, so I'm going to close this and we're going to take a look at your second assignment.
Oh my, okay.
Okay, so look, it's all green. It's all green, baby. It's all green. Excellent. Aha.
Ah!
No, this is
No,
fine. This
okay.
is fine. This is okay. Okay, now look. In Switzerland, people should be allowed to flush the toilet after 10 p.m. in apartment buildings. This is correct. In Singapore, people ought to be allowed to chew gum even if it's not for therapeutic purposes and prescribed by a doctor. Very good. In Japan, citizens should be required not to be obese. Now, between the ages of 40 and 74, should be required their waistlines measured annually. Oh, now I know what you mean. But uh, I know what you mean, but it's not well constructed.
Okay.
It's not well constructed. Let me show you. So in Japan, citizens should be required not to be obese. Obese, good. Can you try one more time to rephrase? Can you rephrase this sentence?
Mm, Citizens who between the ages of 40 and 74.
Exactly. That's much better, Duygu. That's much better. You
Mhm.
can say citizens or you can say
The people.
people between the ages of 40 and 74 should be required
Mhm.
to measure their
Mhm.
waistlines annually.
Yes.
Right, very good.
Mhm.
Now, do they measure their waistlines themselves? Like if I'm someone between the ages of 40 and 74. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, do I measure my waistline myself?
No.
No, right? I
Mhm.
maybe go to some doctor's office, right? And a nurse or
Yes.
a doctor measures my waistline, right?
Mhm.
So I don't measure my waistline myself. I have someone else
Yes.
measure my waistline.
Mhm.
I have someone else. I have someone measure my waistline. Waistline. Okay. Do you know this structure?
Mm, yes.
If
But
not, that's okay. We'll work
it
on
is
it.
it is passive voice, I think. No. Mm-mm.
No, it's not. No, it's not. We'll work on this, okay? All right. Now let me go. Oh, was I sharing the Word document with you? Yes. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Now let me. Oh no. What was I? Oh, sorry. Now I am. So people between the ages of 40 and 74 should be required to measure their waistlines annually. So we're not going to say this because we don't measure our waistlines ourselves. I don't measure my waistline myself. I go to a doctor and I have a doctor measure my waistline. Anyway, we'll go back to this later. Okay. All right. Now let me go back to the homework. So in Thailand, people shouldn't be permitted to step on currency featuring the image of the king. In France, people should be allowed to name a pig Napoleon. In Samoa, people shouldn't be required to remember their wife's birthday. In Australia, people ought to be allowed to dress up as Batman and Robin. In Canada, people should be allowed to pay for items exceeding $25 with coins. In Italy, people ought to be permitted to build sandcastles at the beach without any permit. And in the UK, people should be allowed to handle a salmon suspiciously. Okay, good. Very good, Duygu. Very good. All right. Now, what are we going to do? Oh, Duygu. Okay. Now, if you remember, a few weeks back, okay, we worked on some texts. Okay. Now, if I scroll up, okay, you might remember that we worked on this. You remember this? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not sharing the Word document. There you go. Okay. So back on March 28, we worked on this. Okay. So about a month ago, we worked on this. Okay. So look, Sarah and her partner had been together for several years, and their anniversary was an important milestone for them. Now we gave some suggestions.
Yes.
Right? Remember?
Yes.
We said something like this. Sarah should have paid attention to the reminders on her phone and calendar. Right? Should have paid. And then we said she could have said. Okay? But now, Duygu, what I want you to do, did you hear what I said?
What I want?
What is that? It's a clef sentence, right?
Yes.
Right? So, Duygu, what I want you to do is excellent. What I want you to do is I want you to read the text and tell me, okay, no. I know you understand the text. Okay? I know you understand the text, but I want you to read the text and I want you to find some line, or I want you to find a line that you might not have been able to say it yourself if you had wanted to say it. Did that make sense? No. Okay. Okay. I want you to find a line, or I want you to find some part of the text that you might not have been able to say it yourself, even if you had wanted to. Let me show you what I mean, okay? Sarah and her partner have been together for several years. Can you come up with a sentence like this? I'm sure you can, okay? And their anniversary was an important milestone for them. Can you come up with a sentence like this? I think you can, okay? Now, for example, Sarah became caught up in her busy schedule. Is this something that you could have come up with yourself?
Hmm.
Let me ask again. Is this a sentence that you could have come up with by yourself?
I didn't
No, değil
understand.
mi? No, right? No.
Why?
So,
Why no? I didn't understand.
yani, so I know you understand it. When you read it, I know you can understand it. But if you wanted to say something like this, would you have used these same words? Would you have said it this way?
I cannot
Okay,
understand.
okay, I'm sorry. Look, Sarah became caught up in her busy schedule. Do you know what that means?
I know.
Could you possibly translate it into Turkish?
Sara yoğun programından dolayı kapat neydi?
It's like to get stuck. Wait. To if you get caught up in something, you get involved in that. Okay, look, let me if you get caught up in something, you get involved in that something without wanting to.
Okay.
Okay, that's what that means.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, you can say to me, "Oh, you know what, Antonio? I got caught up in a meeting."
I don't
Okay,
want to meet.
you
I don't
right.
want to go to any meeting.
Well, exactly. You didn't want to go to the meeting, but somehow you got involved. Okay, or you got involved in a meeting, but you didn't want to. Okay, and or you can say to me, "Hey, Antonio, you know what happened to me yesterday? So what happened to me yesterday?" No. What happened to me yesterday was I got caught in a fight between my mom and Arif. What are you telling me? You're telling me that somehow you got involved in the fight, but you didn't want to. Okay? Now, I want you, so I got caught up in my busy schedule. Duygu. I got caught up in my busy schedule. That means I was Sarah became caught up in her busy schedule. That means she became busy. She became involved in her busy schedule, but she didn't really want it. She didn't really want to, but somehow she got involved because, I don't know, she was very busy or something. Okay.
Okay.
Despite having reminders on her phone and calendar, Sarah overlooked the significance of the day and failed to make any arrangements to celebrate it. So from this text, we can learn this expression. Okay. So you get caught up in something. For example, she failed to make any arrangements to celebrate it. Now, I'm pretty sure you know what this means. Right? So, for example, you can tell me, Antonio, man, you know what happened today? So, today I failed to complete my assignment. I failed to complete my assignment. So what does this mean?
Bana atadığın şeyleri tamamlayamadım.
Tamamlayamadım.
Başaramadım.
Right, exactly. Okay, başaramadım. Now, is this something that you would have said? I mean, would you have, if you wanted to, would you have said something like this? I mean, let me ask you again. If you wanted to say something like this, something like ödevimi tamamlaya başaramadım. If you wanted to say something like that in English, would you have said it this way? Yes or no?
Yes. No.
Now, let's say you wanted to say to me, Antonio, um,
I couldn't do my homework, for example. I can't.
Mesela ödevimi tamamlayamadım.
I
Ya da
couldn't
ödevimi
complete my homework, for
right.
example.
I couldn't complete my homework. Okay. But you might not have been able to say it this way. Belki bu şekilde söyleyemezdim. Yani bu yeni bir kalıp.
Yes, yes.
So I want you to find new structures in the text and then find the original structure and start using that structure. Right? So for example, here you have a new structure. failed to make something or failed to do something. Now, the text says Sarah failed to make any arrangements. Okay? So what's the original structure? The original structure is this: to fail to do something, or fail to make something. That's the original structure. So when you see a new structure, I want you to find the original one and make new sentences with it. Okay? So for example, here you can say I failed to what can we say? I failed to organize. I failed to organize the event for tomorrow. Yani başaramadım. Başarmadım. Okay?
Yes.
All right. Now, let me show you the next text. So, David had been assigned a crucial project at work. You know that, you know what that means, and maybe that is something that you can say it yourself. So that's something that you can by yourself come up with, right? Initially, he had planned out his tasks. Now look, here it says he had planned out his tasks. What do you think that means? Planlamak, right?
Yes.
Now, why out? Neden out? Okay, it's a phrasal verb. So, would you have said something like this? Probably not. So, probably not, right? Because this is something new to you.
Yes.
So, this is something that you can start using to plan something out, right? So, to plan something out. That's the original structure. Okay? So what does this mean? It means to plan something completely. Whoops. All right. Okay. However, as the deadline approached, David became preoccupied with other urgent tasks and personal commitments. He kept telling himself he would finish the project later. Now, could you possibly translate this into Turkish?
Kendine söyleyip projeyi daha sonra bitireceğini kendine söyledi, durdu gibi bir şey.
Okay. Now, let's say that you want to say something like that in English. Okay. Would you be able to say it this way?
No.
No, right? So this is something new to you. This is a
Yes.
new structure for you. Okay?
Yes.
So what is the original structure here? The original structure is to keep telling oneself one would do something. That's the original structure. So you can use this to come up with more and more and more sentences. Okay, so for example, I kept telling myself I would call Arif. Now, how would you translate this into Turkish?
Arif'i arayacağımı kendi kendime söyledim. Söyleyip durdum.
Söyleyip durdum.
Birden fazla kez söyledim.
Right. So, for example, you said yesterday you were like this. I'm gonna call Arif. I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna call Arif. I'm gonna call Arif. I'm gonna call him now. And then 5 minutes later, I'm gonna call him now. Okay, now I'm gonna call him. Right? You spent like 1 hour telling yourself, I'm gonna call Arif. I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna call him now. Okay. Now, today, you want to tell me that. You want to tell me about that. So what do you say to me? You say, Antonio, yesterday I kept telling myself I would call Arif. Right? So this is a new structure for you.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. So now, for example, here, initially saying she would attend. Now, what I want you to do is when you read a text, I want you to find new structures, and then you can see how you can use those structures. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. All right. Let me see. I've been going through. For example, Mark's friend had been going through a tough time lately. What do you think that means?
Zor zamanlar yaşıyormuş.
Yaşıyormuş.
Evet.
Aynen, yaşıyorum. Yaşıyormuş. Peki, Duygu, let's say you want to say something like zor zaman yaşıyorum şu anda. I don't know if the Turkish is correct.
Yes.
Zor zaman yaşıyorum. So if you want to say
I have a tough time nowadays, for example.
okay, see, if you wanted to say something like that, you would have said, I am going, no, can you say it again?
I have a tough time nowadays.
I have a tough time right now. Okay.
Right now.
This is Duygu before, right? This is Duygu before. I have a tough time right now. Bu Duygu version 1.0. But Duygu version 2.0, what does Duygu version 2.0 say? If she wants to say zor zaman yaşıyorum, she says she sees this structure and learns something from this structure. So Duygu version 2.0 says
I
I'm
am going through
I am going through. Yes, I am going through
a tough time.
a tough time. Exactly. This is Duygu 2.0. Okay. Now look, Duygu 1.0 says this: I have a tough time right now. But the new Duygu says this: I am going through a tough time right now. Now, which one is better? Duygu version
Second one.
1.0 or 2.0?
2.0.
Exactly. Exactly. Why? Because Duygu saw a new structure and decided to use it. Okay?
Yes. And structure, go through a tough time.
To go through a tough time. Exactly. That's the structure. To go through a tough time. Oops, not thought. Through a tough time. Right? Okay. All right. So remember, when you read a text, I want you to find a new structure and start using it. All right? Okay. For example, Laura borrowed a book from her friend several weeks ago with the intention of returning it promptly. Do you understand what that means? Yes, you understand what that means. Now, would you have been able to say it like this if you wanted to? Maybe not. So, for example, Duygu called Arif with the intention of telling him she loves him. Mesela. Okay. Do you know the meaning of this word? Niyet.
I didn't remember. Yeah, okay.
Niyet. Okay. So this so what is the original structure here? Can you identify it?
With the intention of.
Right. To do something with the intention of what? Of doing something else. So what do we learn from this structure? We learn that after the intention of, we have to use ing, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the HR manager, the HR manager gathered, gathered. Do you know gather?
Hı.
Gather all her employees with the intention of
Thanking
ooh, nice, of thanking.
their performance results, for example.
Okay, with intention of thanking them for their performance.
Hı.
Excellent. Very good. All right. Um, all right. Now hold on 1 second. Let me uh, now look. However, as days passed, Laura became busy with her own tasks and responsibilities, and the borrowed book slipped her mind. Did we work on this expression before?
Hı.
No? Okay.
No. Hı.
So what do you think this means? And the borrowed book slipped her
Forget,
mind.
forget, I think.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So this is another structure or an expression that you can make use of. You can use this. Okay. It means
Hı.
to forget. Okay. So you can say um, the the homework slipped my mind. What
Hı.
does that mean? It means I forgot my homework.
Yes.
Okay. Or calling Arif slipped my mind. What does that mean? It means I forgot to call Arif. Does that make sense?
Hı.
Okay, great. All right. Now, um, okay, excellent. Very good, very good, very good. All right, now I want to go back to this topic. Mm, okay. I was going to tell you something, Duygu. I think. Okay, now I want us to, I want us to, mm, wait. Um, Hold on 1 second. And okay. I would like to do a listening exercise, Duygu.
Sorry, I cannot hear you.
I would like to do a listening exercise.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Now, There you go. Can you see? You can see my Word document, right?
Yes,
Okay,
I
good.
can see.
So we're going to listen to 3 situations, and these are people discussing annoying situations.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're going to number the situations in the correct order from 1 to 3. And there are 3 extra situations. Okay? Okay, so we're going to listen to the first situation. Hold on one second. So are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Page 102. Exercise 5. Listening. Something has got to be done. Part A. Listen to people discuss annoying situations. Number the situations they describe in the correct order from 1 to 3. There are 3 extra situations. 1.
Well, that was a great movie, but that guy in front of us texting the whole time was really annoying.
I agree. The light from his cell phone really distracted me.
I think people shouldn't be allowed to text at all in the movie theater. Our phones should have a movie mode that people should be required to turn on. You know, like airplane mode when you're on a plane, but for movies.
Hey, movie mode. The screen wouldn't light up and distract other people. I love that idea.
2.
Okay, so what situation was that?
It was about using cell phone.
Right, using cell phones.
Yes, in public
Where?
places, movie theater, and
In
the other public places.
Right, using cell phones in a movie theater. So can you find it on this list?
Last one, texting
Right, texting in a movie
movie
theater.
theater.
Right. Now, let's listen to number 2, okay, and find it on the list. All right? Okay, here we go.
Ouch! That woman just stepped on my foot trying to take a selfie. I can't believe we're at this historic monument and I'm being bothered with other people's selfies.
Something has really got to be done about this whole selfie phenomenon.
You know, I read that selfies have been banned at many tourist destinations, like at museums and monuments.
Really? I think that's great. Selfies ought to be prohibited at any place with big crowds of people. Whatever happened to just asking people to take a picture of you?
Okay, so which one is that?
Taking selfies in crowded places.
That's right, taking selfies in crowded places. Okay, and now let's listen to number 3.
3.
I thought I was going to go crazy in that waiting room.
Why? Was it crowded?
No, there was only one other man in there, but he was talking with his phone on speaker the whole time. I could hear his entire conversation with his coworker. A rule has to be made that prohibits people from talking on speaker indoors in public places. It's so unnecessary.
I agree. Offices in public buildings should be required to post signs that prohibit that. It's very disrespectful.
First one, using the phone on speaker in public places.
That's right. Yes. Okay, good. Now, Duygu, let's listen to that again, but this time I want you to please write down the passive modals that you hear in the dialogues, okay? Now, what do I mean by passive modals? I mean these. You see
Mhm.
these?
Yes.
These are called passive modals. So should be required, shouldn't be allowed, ought
Mhm.
not to be required, or must be passed, has to be made, has got to be done, must be permitted, must not be permitted. Okay?
Mhm.
So please write down the passive modals that you hear. You don't have to write the whole sentence,
Mhm.
just the passive modal. All right?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. You ready?
Mhm.
Here we go.
Page 102. Exercise 5. Listening. Something has got to be done. Part A. Listen to people discuss annoying situations. Number the situations they describe in the correct order from 1 to 3. There are 3 extra situations. 1.
Well, that was a great movie, but that guy in front of us texting the whole time was really annoying.
I agree. The light from his cell phone really distracted me.
I think people shouldn't be allowed to text at all in the movie theater. Our phones should have a movie mode that people should be required to turn on. You know, like airplane mode when you're on a plane, but for movies.
Hey, movie mode. The screen wouldn't light up and distract other people. I love that idea.
2.
Ouch! That woman just stepped on my foot trying to take a selfie. I can't believe we're at this historic monument and I'm being bothered with other people's selfies.
Something has really got to be done about this whole selfie phenomenon.
You know, I read that selfies have been banned at many tourist destinations, like at museums and monuments.
Really? I think that's great. Selfies ought to be prohibited at any place with big crowds of people. Whatever happened to just asking people to take a picture of you?
3.
I thought I was going to go crazy in that waiting room.
Why? Was it crowded?
No, there was only one other man in there, but he was talking with his phone on speaker the whole time. I could hear his entire conversation with his coworker. A rule has to be made that prohibits people from talking on speaker indoors in public places. It's so unnecessary.
I agree. Offices in public buildings should be required to post signs that prohibit that. It's very disrespectful.
Okay, so how many did you get?
Shouldn't be allowed, should be allowed, should be
Right.
required.
Uh-huh. Well,
Uh,
I'm sorry, can you start from the beginning?
shouldn't be allowed,
Right, shouldn't be allowed.
should
Okay,
be
and then
allowed, should be required,
should
has
be
required,
should be required, yes.
uh, has got to be done, get to be done, something like that. Ought to
Mhm.
be prohibited,
Ought to be prohibited,
has
yes.
to be made,
Has to be made
and should be required.
and should be required. Very good, very good. Okay, now let's let me share.
Well, that was a great movie.
Oh, sorry. Um, let me share this with you. Hold on one second. Mhm. Okay. Okay. Now look, here's the transcript. All right.
Mhm.
Let's listen to that again and read the transcript at the same time. Okay.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Page 102. Exercise 5. 1.
Okay, I'm skipping to one. Okay, I'm skipping the
Mhm.
instructions. Here we go.
Okay.
Well, that was a great movie. But that guy in front of us texting the whole time was really annoying.
I agree. The light from his cell phone really distracted me.
I think people shouldn't be allowed to text at all in the movie theater. Our phones should have a movie mode that people should be required to turn on. You know, like airplane mode when you're on a plane, but for movies.
Hey, movie mode. The screen wouldn't light up and distract other people. I love that idea.
2,
Ouch! That woman just stepped on my foot trying to take a selfie. I can't believe we're at this historic monument and I'm being bothered with other people's selfies.
Something has really got to be done about this whole selfie phenomenon.
You know, I read that selfies have been banned at many tourist destinations, like at museums and monuments.
Really? I think that's great. Selfies ought to be prohibited at any place with big crowds of people. Whatever happened to just asking people to take a picture of you?
3,
I thought I was going to go crazy in that waiting room.
Why? Was it crowded?
No, there was only one other man in there, but he was talking with his phone on speaker the whole time. I could hear his entire conversation with his coworker. A rule has to be made that prohibits people from talking on speaker indoors in public places. It's so unnecessary.
I agree. Offices in public buildings should be required to post signs that prohibit that. It's very disrespectful.
Okay, now I want us to do this. I want us to by the way, Duygu, is it okay if we keep going?
Yes, yes, okay.
Okay. All right. I want us to act these dialogues out.
Mhm.
Okay. I want us to practice these dialogues. So you'll be woman
Mhm.
and I'll be man.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now remember, try to make it as natural as you can. All right.
Mhm.
Okay. Go ahead.
Well, that was a great movie, but that guy in front of us texting the whole time was really annoying.
I agree. The light from his cell phone really distracted me.
I think people shouldn't be allowed to text at all in movie theater. Our phones should have a movie mode that people should be required to turn on. Like airplane mode when you are on a plane, but for movies.
Hey, movie mode. The screen wouldn't light up and distract other people. I love that idea. Okay, now I'll be woman and you'll be man. Okay? All right. Well, that was a great movie. But that guy in front of us texting the whole time was really annoying.
I agree. The light from his cell phone really distracted me.
I think people shouldn't be allowed to text at all in the movie theater. Our phones should have a movie mode that people should be required to turn on. You know, like airplane mode when you're on a plane, but for movies.
Hey, movie mode! The screen wouldn't light up and distract other people. I love that idea.
Nice, Duygu. Nice, nice. That was not bad. Now, look, take another look at this dialogue and find words that you don't know.
Mhm. Mm, I think no words. I don't know.
Do you know this one?
Distracted me. I didn't focus on.
Well, if you cannot focus on something, is because something is distracting you.
Mhm. Hmm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So let's say you're trying to you're trying to concentrate on something, but you can't because I don't know, maybe someone is talking
Mhm, mhm.
or maybe someone is talking on the phone. So that person is distracting you, is preventing you from concentrating.
Mhm.
Distract.
Okay.
Okay. Now look.
Mhm.
Now, for example, after reading this dialogue and after listening to this dialogue, now you know how to describe this in English. Look. Look. Now you know how to explain this in English.
Light up.
Yes, exactly. The screen lights
Light
up,
up. Mhm.
right? How would you say this in Turkish? Ekran?
Ekran ışığı. Ekran ışığı. Açıldı.
Ekran açılıyor.
Yes.
Ekranın ışığı
Yandı.
yanıyor, yandı. Okay? Now you know how to say that in English, right? The
Yeah.
screen
Lighted up.
well, the screen lit up.
Lit up. Okay. Sorry.
Lit. Yes, it's spelled L-I-T.
Mhm.
The screen lit up. Okay. So when you are in the movie theater and the screen lights up, what does that do to people?
Mm. People should be required to turn off.
Yeah, that's a good idea. People should be required to turn off their phones,
Mhm.
right? Because if I use my phone,
Mhm.
what happens to the phone, to the phone screen? The phone screen
Light up.
lights up. Exactly.
Lights up. Yes.
Yes. And what does that do to people?
It distracts people.
Exactly. It distracts people. Okay. So, for example, does music distract you while you're working?
Yes, it
Really?
distracts me.
It distracts you.
If if it sounds loud.
Right. If it's loud.
If it's loud, yes.
Yes. If it's loud, what happens? What does it do to you?
If it's loud, it distracts me.
Yes, it distracts you. Exactly. You get distracted
By
by the music. Right.
yes.
You get distracted by the music. Okay. All right. Can we keep going, Duygu, or do you have to go?
If you have time, I have time.
Yes, yes, because I would really like to finish this.
Okay.
Okay, so let's try this dialogue now. Okay, I'll be
Mhm.
man and you'll be woman. All right?
Okay.
Okay. Ouch! That woman just stepped on my foot trying to take a selfie. I can't believe we're at this historic monument and I'm being bothered with other people's selfies.
Something has really got to be done about this whole selfie phenomenon. Phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
You know, I read that selfies have been banned at many tourist destinations, like at museums and monuments.
Really? I think that's great. Selfies ought to be prohibited at any place with big crowds of people. Whatever happened to just asking people to take a picture of you?
Nice, nice. Okay, now you'll be man and I'll be woman. Okay? Now, I want you to pay attention to my pronunciation
Okay.
here. Look,
Mhm.
okay? I'm going to pronounce something different.
Okay.
Now, and I want you to pay attention to it. Okay?
Okay.
All
Mhm.
right, go.
Ouch. That woman just bit stepped on my foot trying to take a selfie. I can't believe where we are at this historic monument, and I am being bothered with other people's selfies.
Something has really got to be done about this whole selfie phenomenon.
You know, I read that selfies have been banned at many tourist destinations, like at museums and monuments.
Really? I think that's great. Selfies ought to be prohibited at any place with big crowds of people. Whatever happened to just asking people to take a picture of you? Now,
Mhm.
did you notice what I pronounced differently?
Yes, oh, not ought,
Right, I
ought to
say
be,
oughta be prohibited.
ought to,
Oughta, okay?
oughta.
Oughta, yes, oughta, spell like this, oughta, oughta be prohibited.
Mm,
Okay, when we pronounce it, we say oughta,
oughta, oughta,
oughta be
oughta,
prohibited, oughta be
ought.
prohibited.
Selfies ought to be prohibited. Ought.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Oughta be prohibited. Okay, like like instead of want to,
Mhm.
we say
Oughta.
no.
We say,
Instead of I want to,
I want to. Mhm.
right? Instead of
I
I want
wanna.
to, I wanna. Exactly. Instead
Mm.
of I'm going to, we say
I gonna.
I'm gonna.
I'm
Instead
gonna.
of right, I'm gonna. Instead of I ought to, we say
I oughta.
yes, we say I oughta.
Oughta.
I
Okay.
oughta. Okay, I oughta go. Can you say I oughta go?
I oughta go. Oughta. I oughta go.
I ought to go. You can say I ought to go, but you can say I oughta go.
I oughta go.
Yes,
I
that's I oughta
I
go.
need I need practice. I
Yes,
ought to go. I ought to go somewhere. I ought to go
yes.
somewhere.
I ought to go somewhere. Very good, Duygu. Very good. I ought to go somewhere. Okay, can you say that again? I ought to go somewhere.
I ought to go somewhere.
There you go. Excellent. Okay. All right, let's do this. Let's do this number 3.
Okay.
You'll be woman, I'll be man. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead.
I thought I was going to go crazy in that waiting room.
Why? Was it crowded?
No, there was only one other man in there, but he was talking with his phone on speaker the whole time. I could hear his entire conversation with his coworker. A rule has to be made that prohibits people from talking on speaker indoors in public places. It's so unnecessary.
I agree. Offices and public buildings should be required to post signs that prohibit that. It's very disrespectful. All right, now I'll be woman and you'll be man, okay?
Okay.
I thought I was going to go crazy in that waiting room.
Why? What is crowded?
No, there was only one other man in there, but he was talking with his phone on speaker the whole time. I could hear his entire conversation with his coworker. A rule has to be made that prohibits people from talking on speaker indoors in public places. It's so unnecessary.
I agree. Offices and public buildings should be required to post signs that prohibit that. It's very disrespectful.
Very good. Okay, now do you see any words that you don't know?
Um, no, I think
What about this?
science mean uh,
Yes. Yes,
how
exactly.
can how can express it? I don't know, but
But you know what it is.
yes,
Okay. Now look. What's this?
it is a new expression.
Right. Do you know what it means?
Yes.
You understand what it means, right? You understand what it is,
Mhm.
but e, öyle bir şey demek isteseydin söyler miydin?
No.
Hayır. Değil mi?
Yes.
Hayır. So you can start saying it now. You can say, "Oh man, Antonio, I thought I was gonna go crazy yesterday." Or you call Arif and I say, "Baby, I thought I was gonna go crazy yesterday."
Mhm.
Okay, I thought I was going to go crazy.
Or I think
Uh,
I'm going to go crazy right now
exactly.
because of noise, for example.
Right, because of the noise. I think I'm going to go crazy because of the noise. Very good. Sanırım çıldıracağım.
Mhm.
Değil mi?
Yes.
Ya da I thought I was going to go crazy. Ee, çıldıracaktım sandım.
Yes.
Oldu mu bilmiyorum.
Yes.
Çıldıracaktın sandım.
Yes.
Okay? See, so
Mhm.
now you can say something like that in English. Ah, I thought I was
İnşallah.
gonna go crazy.
I thought I was going to go crazy.
Yes, I thought I was gonna go crazy.
I thought
Say it.
I was gonna go crazy.
Yes, I
Instead,
thought I was gonna go crazy, Antonio. Say it.
I thought I was gonna go to crazy. I was gonna go to crazy. I thought I was gonna go to crazy, Antonio.
No,
I
go
thought
gonna
I
go
was
too crazy. No.
no. I want okay. I was gonna go. Not gonna go. Not gonna go. I was
You can say
gonna crazy.
I thought I was gonna go crazy.
I thought I was gonna go crazy.
There you go. Yes. I thought I was gonna go crazy. Okay. Now, okay. So, what did we learn today?
Ah,
Çıldıracaktın sandım.
yes, many new expression we learned. I learned, I think.
Yes. Right. So, if we want to say çıldıracaktın sandım, we say,
I thought I was gonna go crazy, Antonio.
wow, why, Duygu? Why? Tell me. Okay, very good. Very, very good. Now, what else did we learn? We learned that when the screen, when the phone screen
Lights up.
lights up, it might do what to people?
Distracts
It might
distracts people.
distract people. Very good. It might distract people. Okay. And what else
Flip someone's mind. Do something with intention of doing something else. Go through
right,
a tough time.
right,
To keep telling oneself one would do something, to plan something out, to fail, do or make something.
right, to
To
fail
get
to
in,
do.
to get caught up, yes, to get caught up in something, to file a
Right.
complaint, blah blah.
Yes, that's right. Okay, let me where is that? Hold on one second. Right, can you no, you cannot see my screen, but now you can. So yeah, so to get caught up in something, right? Or to get or become caught up in something, or to get or become caught up in doing something. All right? Okay. All right. Now, Duygu, I don't know if I have told you this before, or I don't know if we have done this before, but when I mean, usually when I text you and ask you questions, right? Sometimes I write something in italics.
Okay.
That's because I want you to answer me back using a word or expression that means whatever I put in italics.
Okay.
So, for example, tomorrow I may ask you this question. What is something that you got involved in without wanting to? Okay, and I will write this in italics. Why? Because I want you to text me back using a similar expression or word. So, for example, today you learned the definition, or you learned the expression. You learned an expression that means this.
Yeah.
Right? So if I write it in italics, is because I want you to text me back using the expression.
Okay.
So, for example, your answer might be something like this. I got. You want to tell me that?
I got caught up in.
And that's right. I got caught up in a meeting, for example. Okay. All right. So remember, when I text you and ask you a question and put something in italics, is because I want you to use that and I want you to text me back using the original word or expression.
Okay. I understand.
All right. I'm sorry this took much longer. I'm sorry we went over the hour mark.
You know, I think because of mine, because beginning of lesson, I couldn't understand some things.
Oh no, it's just that I want to get more things done during the class. All right. So I'll send you some homework,
Okay.
okay? And then I'll see you next week.
Yes.
Yay. All right. Do you have any questions for me?
No, thank you, Antonio.
All right. All right. So I'll see you on Tuesday then.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks. You too. You too, Duygu.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.